Lagos State government is trying to ensure that once the rains come, we wouldn't have much of a problem, and that is why we've gone in search of the Office of Drainage Services to also come and talk to us this morning about how prepared we are for the rains. And joining me right now is the energetic permanent secretary of the Office of Drainage Services, and I'm talking about Engineer Olamilekan Sodeinde. It's nice to have you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Victor. Good morning, Lagos.
All right, I'm sure moving here this morning has been very, very
We thank God for
hectic
His mercies.
in terms of the traffic buildup. All right, but before we talk about how prepared you are for the rain season, let's just take a little time to understand the mandate of that office where you are. What is the mandate given to the Office of Drainage Services?
Well, like the name implies, Office of Drainage Services and Water Resources. Our job is to ensure that we ensure the sanctity of the natural status of water. I mean, as created by God, that it doesn't affect, Lagosians negatively. It's not all about flooding. It's not about stormwater. Even the water resources of Lagos, the lagoons, the rivers, the ocean that abound Lagos, because Lagos is 1/3 water. If you don't even take into cognizance the floodplains, those are the coastal areas. By and large, water is part and parcel of Lagos. So our duty is to ensure that the natural state of water is maintained as best as we can to avoid any negative impact on the populace.
And in looking at that's the mandate, really, let's look at the infrastructure to which would guarantee that you have efficiency in all of this. How would you describe the state of infrastructure for that office in terms of water resources and drainage services?
Permit me to just divert a little bit. Infrastructure alone would not ensure what I just said earlier.
Okay.
Ensuring that natural state of I'm being careful.
Right.
The natural state of water, the sanctity is maintained. So it has a lot to do with management and planning. And planning is a key part of management. Was any part of they say water resources management. So you have to water because water is a resource.
Right.
So it's not just about infrastructure. Yeah, infrastructure is part of the process or those things required to ensure we have a safe livelihood in terms of water. Water is a best friend, but could be a very bad
Enemy too.
enemy if you don't properly manage it. So now, in terms of infrastructure, over time, Lagos has I mean, since time immemorial, Lagos has been providing infrastructure for stormwater management. Water resources had not been taken wholesomely until the present administration that added water resources to our portfolio in the office.
All right.
But over time, all over the state, we have several infrastructure, and we still keep providing infrastructure. So it's a continuous thing because Lagos is growing, whether it's exponentially or whatever now, but Lagos is growing
geometrically.
So we have to just keep, working towards providing more infrastructure.
Now you mentioned something about the maintenance and management of the water resources, the water bodies, and all of that. Let's extend that and let's understand that much broader. So the lagoons, for instance, is there a way you can manage that? All the other water bodies, are there ways you manage it?
Definitely. One thing I'll say is, if only we can hold time. God created everything in a balance. I mean, if we all believe in God anyway, I'm not imposing God on anybody.
Right.
I mean, God created everything in a balance. We believe in that creation. But human existence, we have this potential of playing with what God has done. You dig somewhere, you feel somewhere. You see somewhere, you go to live because people have to survive one way or the other. So the water is a resource that you are constitutionally and naturally allowed or empowered to utilize. But if you keep utilizing and you don't think of sustainability, you don't think of how you can replenish, even though there is a natural replenishing mode, which is the rain, but there's a water cycle. If you keep polluting the water resource without being mindful of negative impact, so this is where water resource management comes in. You look at the water as a whole.
Right.
Look, this water is a resource. How can we maintain that value in the water system? Not just leaving the water there. If you just leave the water there, the lagoon will, and you keep polluting it. Water essence never used to be on the lagoon when I was a small boy in Lagos.
Right.
But the pollution level of Lagos is so high now that you see water hyacinth all year round in the lagoon. That is what we have to deal with.
Okay.
You keep seeing dredging. We've been dredging sand in the lagoon over time to build houses. Where has the sand become from to replenish the lagoon? Do we keep, evacuating the sand from the lagoon without replenishing.
Right.
But God in His mercy has done, a balance and a cycle. As you're taking the sand from the lagoon, other will be coming from up north from the river Ogun, Osun, and other rivers in the state to replenish the lagoon. So all this is something that we study and we intend to maintain a balance.
All right, we'll get back to that during the course of the program as well. But let's get to the drainages component of this. In Lagos, I know we have drainages, and for those who might not understand, just talk to our listeners this morning. All the drainages that we have in Lagos, are they interconnected?
Thank you. If time permits, I'll try. Now, interconnectivity very key, but there are three classes of drains.
Okay.
You have the primary, secondary, and tertiary, just like when we were in school. But for this is the converse. In this case, the primary is the biggest.
Okay.
That's the big canals, the naturally existing ones that God created. They used to be streams, but when development, migrated to the area, they have been challenged. Those are the primary channel.
Okay.
They are the ones that are supposed to collect the storm water into the big water body, the lagoons all over the state. Now, the primary channel won't take water from your frontage by itself. You need to convey the water. There's a conveyance system, which you call the drainages, the channels.
All right.
The primary channel is the biggest of it.
All right.
Let me skip one level and go to the tertiary, which is now the ones in front of our tenements. Those are the gutters along the road.
Okay, those are the ones in front of our homes.
In front of our homes.
Okay.
Okay? These ones are there. These are supposed to take runoff from your compound, from the road, from the area into them. They will not need to be conveyed to the primary channels, the big naturally existing channels, through what we call a secondary system, a secondary channel, which is a collector. So you now have primary, secondary, tertiary.
Okay.
So all these are supposed to be there. And the only naturally existing one is the primary. So the tertiary comes with the road construction, when you're along the, as development grows along.
Right.
So the sand collectors is what we now create by the
Okay.
state government to take water from the tertiary to the primary. Is a nexus. There's a connection, which is there.
So in all constructions that are taking place across the state right now, there's a connectivity between all these channels.
There ought to be.
Okay.
If there is not, that's why you see the flooding. Because you don't expect the tertiary drains to take all the storm runoff that causes the flooding to the primary channel. Because these drains are quite small. I mean, if they're even allowed to perform anyway, because those drains are even being challenged by refuse.
And that's
And
where I
a
want
negative
to,
act.
and that's where I want to come in, because quite often we see that some of these drains are open, and because they are open, people have easy access through things into them, and that could cause a challenge. So, how often do you maintain these drainages?
Unfortunately, we do that every year now. It ought not to be. Because if the drains are left intact without the human intervention and the negative attitude of our people, you don't need to maintain them for 3 years, because naturally drains have what we call self-cleansing capacity.
Oh,
I mean, if there's silt, if there's only silt or
Right,
sand,
right.
sediment in the drain, once there's rain and there's runoff in the drain, the drainages have the capacity to just let the water will wash away the entire silt. But if we intentionally now put obstruction into the channel, I mean, the velocity of the channel will now be reduced, and that
Okay.
self-cleansing capacity will not be available.
So it will
And
be
let me
affected.
shock you: it's not the fact that the drains are open is not the license why people should dump
Waste.
garbage in the drain.
Right.
But we have conduits. When I say underground drains in Lagos, that people will go to the manhole cover, remove them, and throw garbage inside.
we still have that.
Oh, we still do have. We have.
Quite unfortunate. That's
still-
really, really unfortunate. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This morning, we're preparing for the rainy season, and we're looking at the Office of Drainage Services and Water Resources. That's our focus this morning. We're trying to see what they are doing to ensure that we do not get a flooding when the rains come. All right, if you're moving through the Lagos Badagry Expressway corridor, do not forget there's an impediment somewhere around Car Wash, and it's affecting those of you coming in from Alakija. That's where the backlog is at the moment, so you need to watch out for that. Within the Iju-Shaga N2, there's traffic, and it's a very busy one between the Penn Cinema that's coming in from Fagba, and you can feel the backlog somewhere around Imola axis. Vehicles are also trying to connect using Estate Road to link up with Ogba to proceed on your journey from that location. From Pen Cinema towards Fagba intersection, it is free, and there is alternation also within that corridor, so you need to watch out. That's also adding to the slowness around that corridor. Negotiating through Jonathan Coker is a good movement being experienced. Return journey from that point, it is heavy, but it's a moving traffic that's being experienced within that end. On the Third Milan Bridge, from the entry point, it was busy earlier on, but I'm waiting for the latest update from the control room. Let's see what the latest is within that corridor. So let's talk about your maintenance. I know that over the weekend and through last week, your men were out in town trying to evacuate, silt, and desilt some of this drainage challenge. Let's talk about the program and the exercise that you guys are carrying out right now.
Thank you very much. Towards the tail end of last year, some jobs were commissioned to defload or evacuate silt and refuse from some few channels that have direct relation with some ongoing road projects. The government had planned to rehabilitate some major roads that are actually very bad, and I mean the major cause of the destruction is the water that couldn't flow. So for lack of synergy, we have to immediately evacuate some of this channel, and they're still ongoing. So there are quite a few of them that we started. In addition to that, going into 2020, we have a program whereby the effort is continuous because we have several channels that are involved, not just for the road now. We are going into communities and catchments to ensure that areas that hitherto had been experiencing negative impact of flooding, that we are preparing the receiving body, water body, the primary channel and secondary collectors to be able to perform as it were, to take away all this flood. So these are the things we're doing.
So your men has been going out?
Well, we not that we're doing that. We have people that have been engaged to carry out the work on behalf of the Lagos State government. We're paying them. The only little one we have is we still have our emergency gang that are out there as well, doing some minimal, impactful job on channels that have emergency. We have to do any kind of emergency deflooding. So we have a team all over the state, about 20 teams like that.
All right.
That we've deployed.
All right. So I'm going to take a permission from you to. We're going to be extending this conversation much beyond the news this morning, so that we can also have interaction from our people. I hope that's okay by you.
Very fine.
Oh, okay then. So the Permanent Secretary, Office of Drainage Services and Water Resources, he's granted our permission. So you also be sharing your experience with him, and perhaps there are one or two concerns you want to bring to his attention. I know that I have some here. Some people have equally sent some before you came in. Some areas that they would like your men to work on. All that will be put in perspective as the program moves on. But this is Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. All right, it's an extended version of Your Side Mirror this morning, and I see with me in the studio engineer Olamilekan Sodeinde, who's the Permanent Secretary, Office of Drainage Services and Water Resources, and we'll be talking about how prepared we are for the rains. He's been talking about the programs of that office to ensure that we do not have any flooding. All right, so we're going to be hearing much more from you, our listeners, this morning at this point. From now till 10:30. Let's see if we can just take one or two reactions from you. 0809 912 0777 is the numbers that you can connect with us as it relates to this. If you have any questions or any concerns as it relates to the drainage channels in Lagos for the Permanent Secretary, you can join the conversation. That's on 0809 912 0777. Okay, 0809 912 0777. Now, Engineer Sodeinde, let's talk about the maintenance program, which you've been making reference to before we went on that break. Which areas of the state have you been able to cover so far, so good?
Thank you very much, Victor. Right now, we're working on what we call the System 6C. There's a channel starts from Agege Motor Road between Mushin and Idioro. It passes through Kobiti, Kobe Crescent, Luth, Ishaga Road, Oba, Mushin, goes into Itire, up to Sele under the Apapa Wodoshoki Express
Okay.
into Okafa, Agor Palace, Okafa area. So we're working to remove the huge burden that has been there for quite a while. This will take away the water that has been damaging that bad portion of Agege Motor Road,
All right. Let me speak and
opposite
take.
the corner.
Let me speak and take some of these calls that are coming in. Hello there. Good morning,
This is Johnson Moore calling from Surulere.
Johnson Moore.
Yeah, from Surulere.
Go ahead. What's your concern?
My concern is about the drainage attached to Idiaraba allowance, Idiaraba loop that's to Odo. It's so alarming that if you come and check what is happening.
Now, let me get that. You said the drainage at Idiaraba.
Yeah, loop, attached to loop.
Okay. So what's your concern with it?
Yeah, the way they are dumping refuse in that drainage is so bad that it's so alarming. And I spoke with the Commissioner of Environment the one doing Engr. He said the drainage has been taken out of the Ministry of Environment.
Right.
I asked him, okay, who do I lodge my complaint to? Because during Fashola, we worked hand in hand with him. And the Commissioner for Environment and Physical Planning, Muis Banere,
Okay.
to clear the drainage. We were able to work on the drainage for 8 years. It was raining, there was no flood. But
Okay.
during Ambode, because the Roma was not working and the planar Lagos was not effective, people looked for alternatives to drop refuse. They didn't get any place to drop the refuse. They
Okay.
came to drop the refuse all over. If you come to Daraba, towards opposite route, Apple, you wouldn't like to see the place. It's like a dump site.
Okay. So you're asking what is he going to do about that, right?
Yes, for them to come and look for a way to clear the drainage. Because if it rains now, even loose, people will not be able to stay in loose.
Okay, then. All right. We've taken note of that. Thank you so much for bringing that to our attention, Johnson Moore. All right. He's talking about the drainage channel at Idiaraba connecting to Luth. He's asking what programs you have in place for that. Engr Sodeinde.
Well, I was just talking about that channel actually access system 60. I said from my Motor Road through Kobiti.
Okay, so it links to that particular
No, I mean,
place.
it's a very long stretch that goes all the way to Sele, and right now we're working on it. It was one of those channels that we visited on Thursday.
Okay.
And we are working gradually towards Luth. We start from the downstream, which is at the Sele end, and we are right now, we've gone beyond the Itire Bridge, and we're going towards Moshe now. But eventually we'll get to Luth and we'll clear everything. Mr. Johnson Moore is very correct. The channel is 100% filled up. The massive, I think the burden in the channel is quite heavy.
It's heavy.
And we're right there working
But
on it.
you guys are prepared for it.
No, we're working on it already. Don't just prepare. We're working on it, running.
All right, then 0809 912 0777. If you have any concerns in that direction, bring it to us. Hello there. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Larry Shilon,
Okay. Larry Shidion, where are you calling from?
coming from Shasha.
Shasha. All right. What's your concern?
My complaint is that there is a canal constructed since 2007 along Shasha Urisumbari route.
Okay.
Since 2007, the canal has not been cleared. So whenever it rains, we are always in fear.
You said the canal is at Orisumbari Road.
Shasha Urisumbari road.
Okay.
Sorry, is it the one that goes into the airport?
Yes, that is it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So that tells you that the permanent secretary knows what he knows about that canal.
Yes, but we have not seen them, and there is one of the side of the canal is blocked
Okay.
for almost 5 years now. Whenever there is rain, we are always in trouble.
Okay, then we've taken note of that because of time. He will respond to you. Thank you so much for your concern. You have any programs for that one? Anything?
Well, like I said earlier in the program, Victor, we have program for almost all our channels. We can't be at the same place at the same time, but that's why I said the challenge we have with this one is that even if we do the one that is outside the airport, we still have to link up with the airport authority for them to clean inside the airport.
But you don't have that interface yet.
No, we have. Over the years, we have always had it.
Okay.
But we're really working. So it's one of those that we're working on.
Okay. All right. So that's some words of assurance for you as well. The Orisumbari Canal. Let's just take more. Hello there. Good morning.
Good Good morning, Victor. How are you?
Very good. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Michael. I'm calling from Chule.
Good. So talk to me. What's your concern?
My concern has always been, sometimes ago on Saturday, your program on Saturday, I called you about this drainage at Alaka.
Okay.
And up until now, if you are moving or if you are going in and out, coming from the island or going into the island, Alaka both sides at Ipori bus or Alaka bus stop, let me say that, you will see that those drainages are cleared.
Okay.
But this is where I have the issue. At Ipori bus stop, where you have the leadway assurance, where you have the police station, the alternative routes that they are using for the bridge that they are constructing now.
All right.
That canal from Alaka links to that place. For I can tell you categorically that I'm sure of. I've took a video. I've sent it to your Facebook page.
Okay.
I sent it to the Instagram Lagos State Instagram page as well.
Okay.
I took a video. That drainage, that canal is no more a canal. It's not a forest. For 8 years, I took a video. If you go through all your videos, I've sent it there. I've been looking for how to get in touch with the people in charge. I'm begging.
Okay. All right.
People are now living there. People are now constructing houses.
On that particular location. Okay.
On that particular location.
All right.
Please, Permanent Secretary, this is a personal request. Please come to our aid. Other people building houses at the old Olamilekan village that they've sold the land now.
All right.
They've destroyed those roads. Please, I beg you.
Okay.
Come and look at it yourself.
All right. We've taken note of that. He'll respond to you. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you, Mr. Michael. Thank you for your passion, and I appreciate the intensity of your words. Yes, you see, System 4, I mentioned System 4 too, we were there on Thursday.
All right.
You see, those constructions that he mentioned are actually within the floodplain. And we are the ones that are actually going to meet these water where they are naturally, that's their natural habitat.
Right.
And maybe a floodplain. System 4, which he said passes through Alaka, under the Funshaw Williams Road, into Ikmari Estate.
Yeah.
Yes, that place is lined. That place is developed. We clean it. But between Tedro Show and Funshaw Williams, it's supposed to be a floodplain behind National Stadium. It's between National Stadium and the railway compound. These are two federal agencies. You have LEDB in your road. So it's supposed to be a floodplain.
Okay.
But every development there now is a surprise to government. When we were there on Thursday, we were shocked that a floodplain has been reclaimed and construction has started. So we're really, really investigating what happened, and we're now in the process of, okay, we can't stop development in Lagos State.
Right.
We crave it, we love it.
Yeah, but
it has to be orderly.
Yeah, and that's beyond that, your master plan.
Thank you. It has to be orderly. So we're now having a program whereby we're going to collaborate with the developers of the area and ensure that the channel is properly upgraded.
Okay.
A floodplain is supposed to be a forest, supposed to have a very vibrant ecosystem. But now that people are trying to
build on it,
okay, we have to ensure that we maintain a balance, create path for the water between Ted Joshua and Funshaw Williams.
All right.
That's just the challenge.
So that addresses Michael's
we
concern.
we're on it. We're on it.
Okay. So no worries for that, Michael. The permanent secretary is on top of it. Hello there. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
What's your name, sir?
Yeah, this is Okechukwu calling from Bega.
All right. Okay, Chuku from Bega. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what I want to say about this drainage there. Those people that used to do the drainage, they will open the hole of that where they used to do that drainage, and they will not close it back.
You see that? Where did you witness that?
If you go to Pangrove for Nepal, if you go to access, you will see it.
Okay, they don't close it back. Probably because they've not finished the work.
They will just pack they will leave it open. And people will fall inside.
Okay. Between Pangrove down to where now?
Pangrove, Ojota. Along that place, that's your new garage, Ojota there. Only Pangrove for Nepal. You will see it there. You see it open.
Okay. All right. We've taken note of that. Thank you so much for that, Okechukwu. And that brings the question of what is the approach when this maintenance work is ongoing? Because even sometimes people have said when they bring out the silt from these drainages, they just leave it by the side of the gutter. For some days, it's never evacuated
No, that is not the protocol. The protocol is evacuate and cut away.
straight away.
No, well, it cannot be. Well, right now we can do it straight where it is dry.
Right.
There's no rain, but when it is wet, it's not. Handling of wet silt is not feasible.
Let's take this update that is coming in. That I guess I lost that. 0809-912-0777. That's the numbers to call. But we're still taking feeds from you. Hello there. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Shala.
Shola, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Shogotedo area, Ajah.
Right.
But I want to call attention of our secretary to the my two proper inward and outwards.
Okay.
When the time of the truck parking on that road, so they both four quarter on that road. We have two in this side, two in the other side. All is already blocked.
Okay.
So I don't know maybe what they are trying to do about that. Then in front of Lakatera cage, there is block because of the drainage that is already blocked there. So you make the road to get to pass it there. So they should please and by this dry season now, should please help us and remove all the dirty that is already blocked the drainage from the whole of my two entirely.
Okay then. All right. Thank you so much, Shola.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So, Permanent Secretary, Mile 2 corridor. What's the program? What's the plan you have for evacuating?
If I get the route I was trying to describe, so from Ijesha to Mile 2.
Yes.
That's a tertiary drain along the express, and I think that road is presently under construction by Dangote Group through High Tech.
Are you working in collaboration with them to ensure that the drainages are not blocked?
Yes, we are, because we recently requested and got from them their drainage plan for the construction that they're doing, and we're really working with them because we really need to ensure that whatever they're providing is sustainable and interfaces with whatever we have on ground.
Okay.
So we're working with them.
All right.
But for the Mile 2 estate, if he's talking about the estate, yes, we have a program for the estate. We're cleaning all their existing channels and we're improving where there is room for improvement.
All right.
We're working on the Mile 2 access too.
All right. I know that we have to bring this conversation to an end right now because of time constraints and all of that. But if they want to communicate with the Office of Drainage Services, what are the platforms? What are the areas they can use to communicate? Is there lines that they can use that they can call or send a text to, for instance, so that they can have some access and then you can have response if there are challenges within that corridor?
Yes, thank you very much. We have resident engineers in all local governments in the state. They are supposed to be the eye of the ministry at the local government. So because we just came back on stream, we intend to have them domiciled locally within the community and to be easily
closer to the people.
Closer to the people, yes.
Okay, so you're going to be in the days to come. You send some contacts.
Contact will be given to when we're fully established.
We would appreciate that. So we're bringing this to the end, but what would be your parting thought? What's your message to our people as relates to how they can equally contribute towards sustaining these drainages?
Thank you very much. Let's just follow the law. The law requires that you and I will clean the drainages in front of houses. Because if the drain is not clean, there is no way the storm runoff will enter to get conveyed to the primary channel. The state government will clean the primary and secondary, but it is our duty as individuals to clean the tertiary. If you don't clean the tertiary, then there will be flooding because not storm runoff to the primary channel will be blocked and won't be able to perform effectively. So my parting shot is for people to please do environmental sanitation of their drain, and we take it seriously. And it has been predicted by NIMET to be very heavy this year. So we need to clean tertiary drains and leave the government with the secondary and the primary. Make a clap together. I'm sure we will have a very flood-free state in 2020.
All right. And on that positive note, I want to say thank you so much